What is up, guys? Alex here, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival on the 1.18 multiplayer server. The last episode we sorted out the cow farm and dragging everything up from the plains and also, creating the actual fields to put the cows in. As you can see over there are currently 290 entities-ish, 280, 290 cows and sheep over there. So that's why I've got the shaders off, otherwise I wouldn't have any frames whatsoever. Now, this episode, we're going to sort out the actual implementation of the actual leather and steak farm, and also sort some of this kind of precipice out, because I was planning on putting houses here. I think I explained that in a previous episode, but I was planning on putting 2 or 3 houses along here and across there. Now, I've measured it out slightly, and I've put this, and I think we're going to do it on this level, probably. Or there's going to be a basement here at least. Now, the only problem with this is the fact that this is diagonal, and that's going to be... I thought originally that would be a problem, but potentially I could do something I've never done before and make a diagonal house. That might be difficult, but that'll challenge me, and that's a good thing. That's an extremely good thing. Now, in addition to that, I've kind of moved this wall up a bit. I've pushed it back in, and the same is with this wall as well. I've moved it up, so I need this side to be as high as it can be. So obviously we need the dirt there and that there, so it's two going up. And I'll do that all around the side here until we've got a proper I say balanced area. That should be a good thing. And I'll get back to you once I've done that. Right, now I've built this up to the top here, and I think this looks alright. We're going to need to plant some trees down there just to cover up the somewhat of a mess it is, and also some grass and ferns. No need to do that now though. But what we're going to do, I've left this bit open, and I've also been taking back this slightly, so we can have the basements in, and because I need all this coarse dirt, I need a lot of it to cover this. Isn't the end of the world, but you know how it is. So yeah, we need to demarcate where we're actually going to have these houses. Now the problem with this is I don't know whether to put one of them. There's probably going to be one going diagonally, one probably coming over into this kind of cliff crevice bit down into the cave. I think that'll look cool, kind of having some kind of fences holding it up. You know, like a series of unfortunate events at that house over the lake. The very realistic one. Yeah, I think that would look nice. So we're going to have one there, and obviously that'd be going this way rather than this way, I think. Potentially we could have one going diagonally that way as well, and then another one going straight that way, potentially. So that would allow us to have 3 houses here. Now these are going to have to be quite compact, which is a bit annoying, but I'll just have to deal with it. Alternatively, we have one going diagonally this way with some kind of back area to the house, because I almost want something where it'll show a tiny bit of the foundations here, which will probably be stone brick. So if we had that would be quite a big house, and then the one going this way would be quite small. So I'm going to have a small look at which variation of that would work best. Right, so I've made the middle diagonal one, and I'm realising that this particular way of doing it won't work, mainly because we'd have to have this, and then we'd have to have a gap in the middle, and then the diagonal one, and then a gap in the middle, and then a straight one, and that wouldn't work when you'd have to put the wall in the mountain, and that'd be a nightmare, because the path needs to go around the back of here, and we need at least 2 spaces, and then putting it here. This is the closest we could have it, or here would be the closest we could have it. Here, no, you'd have to stop here, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, because you need the space in between here as well, and that just really wouldn't work. So I'll change it to the other idea, and I'll get back. Right, I think I've got this down decently well. I'm not fully sure how much I like it, so let's go over it. I've extended this out one more just so it would be odd, so it's a 5x3 inside here. The only problem is this is a 3 and this is a 3, and that's a little too symmetrical. So I might extend this out by 1, or shrink this by 1, which is the more likely. Just because the roof may hit over here, and I don't know whether I want to cut this back any further. I probably will do, but we'll see at the moment. It's all right. I've left enough space here so that we can have a proper, I'd say, staircase. It's not a staircase. It's kind of what I did with the andesite over around the back of the graveyard. It'll just wind round here. Now I've moved these in one. I haven't actually. I've moved that one in one. I'll have to adjust this. This is offset by 1, but yeah, these all need these. This wall will need to be moved back by 1, which isn't the end of the world, but it'll take a bit of time. And yeah, the original design idea I was going to have for this wouldn't really work here, and I'll actually might. I'll show you why. I'll do that now. What I was initially going to have was let's do this. It was going to be 2 staggered, 2 staggered, 2 staggered, like so. It was initially going to be that. Now that I've done that, I actually quite like it. The only problem being it's going to be a little small. I've noticed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll work. Okay, I'll do that instead. Hang on. Right, so I think I've got this down properly. It kind of staggers and it's over the edge just enough so that you can have the actual stone going into the ground without it looking too obnoxious from afar, because you'll have this bit and that'll cover it up somewhat, opposed to these bits. Now this, I've shrunk this by 2, which gives us essentially a 7 by 5 plus 4 by 3 then, and 3 by 5 there, which is fine. I think it's just the symmetricalness of this bit's still going to be there. Isn't the end of the world unless I move this back, so I'll work on this bit last. Now, because we have this over here staggered like this, I've had to push this back a bit, which explodes some iron. But the problem with this is it's going to encroach on this. Now, I don't know whether this will be too much of a problem, because I'm planning on having steps that come from the top there down, but I'm not entirely sure how far back they'll have to be in relation to this kind of wall. Otherwise, if they need to be too far back, I'll get some stone and kind of run it up there. I think that'll look better than just leaving it like this, which is a bit kind of pants. Let's go with pants, yeah. Other than that, I think it's possible that we have enough space to put a small house, and I'm talking a really small house. So if we have this here, actually, now that I say it's not, it wouldn't be that small, because you'd have it. I don't know. Would you have it offset? You'd probably. It's very complicated, all this stuff, I have to say. Yeah, that'll be the only. Yeah, the problem is I don't know where the steps are gonna come down. So if we have a look here, there'll be. I'll probably get rid of that. Take the steps down here. Either. No, they can't be there. They'll have to be right up against this, unless they were to be 1. And they'd have to be quite far back. Probably starting down there. Likely. Yeah, that makes sense. Steps going down there. I probably complicated this. I'll probably have them coming down here, wrapping around to that way. So we should, coming down this way, we should have enough room for some kind of small house. Maybe a 5 by 5 or 5 by 7. Right, so the stairs will come, apart from there, they'll come down here, probably wrap round this way, and then there'll be a way down here for people wanting to go into this house, which will have the doorway likely here. And then as for people wanting to enter into this house, here. Yeah. So it's not too out of the way for any of them. Perhaps the doorway for this can be there. Yeah. And these, I think, this... Imagine kind of a block of flats, but in the 1500s. That's how this is going to be. Well, it's going to look at... Excuse me? Excuse me? Hello? Hello? And that happens more often than not. Now, I spent more time than I imagined on this. Well, I say imagined. It wasn't too long, but... So, excusing the lag, it's the cows. This is kind of what it's going to look like. There's a floor plan. I know it looks a bit naff at the moment. Let's be real. But I think it'll be alright eventually. So yeah, imagine stairs down this way. And then they'll curve around there and back up to there. And there'll be... I don't know what's going to be here. I'll figure it out. Probably some kind of ruined castle wall coming out from the windmill. I think that'll look quite cool. Kind of like an old city, an old citadel was here before it was ripped down in a war and rebuilt by the new settlers. Maybe? I don't know. That's called lore. I'm not very good at that. I think that'll look quite cool from down here. With fences and wood logs coming up from the ground. That'll look nice. And yeah. And this 5x5 house here. I might. This is a big might. I might shift this that way by 1. Because it's just a tiny bit closed up on this side. Maybe I can even just extend it by 1, just to have it odd. Right, so in between episodes, I've basically been working on this butcher's shop kind of thing. Mainly because I wasn't too happy with how it looked from the bottom, and I'm still not. So I skipped the bottom and started working on the top, and it's quite simple. I've used this kind of calcite, I think it is, and made kind of a shop area. Extended the back so we can actually have stairs down, and yeah, it's kind of other than that, it's kind of your standard machine. I say machine. It's just your standard house. You've got the fence post, you've got the cobblestone, you've got the wood. Apart from this, it's bog standard nonsense. But in other news, we need to build this cow farm. Now, the problem with that is I don't know where to build it. So, I was going to have it here, but I kind of want to see it from the top as well as the outside. And yes, I'm going to change this, don't worry. So what we're going to do, I think, is have it moved back by 1. Mainly because you need to go up the top to breed them. And the problem with that is you need to get up here and then jump off. Which might be a little difficult. So if we grab this, if you went up here, you'd probably need to be standing here, and then have a thing like this. It's some kind of platform that you walk up to, and then breed the sheep on. Now I don't want to have this platform so big, so we're going to be moving it back 1. And I'm also going to be using the calcite for the actual farm. And as well as that, I'll get some proper redstone and have the redstone all over the floor. Kind of like blood, because that sounds like great fun. So in addition to the butchers, I've also added this staircase, which essentially acts as some kind of exposed andesite bit that someone's dug into based on... And I use the same material as the rectory because it's kind of close, and it'd be this... Technically, in real life, the geology would make it so that it'll be the same rock underneath. Or at least likely the same rock, so I put that there. Now, for the moment, we're going to have it being faced that way. So, when we get the hoppers and chests... Right, so this thing's going to be facing this way, so that means we need the middle bit to be here and the actual breeding bits there. We could put that there. and that there, all facing into one. Right, so for the moment we can leave it going into the chest. Now, we need this observer, which is going to send a signal upwards to the dispensers, and I need actual blocks, thank you. So the redstone goes on top. The observer sends a signal into the redstone, which sends a signal into the... That's the wrong way around. Which sends a signal into the observers, which should send the lava out. So we put the lava buckets in here, and the water buckets in here, so we can breed them at the top and kill them at the bottom. Right, now we don't need that. We need that block there. We need to surround these. Like, properly surround them. Enough so that they cannot get out. Like, so. For this, we need to add that and that. Think, yeah, that looks like it. Perfect. Right, now we need to stop the mobs coming out, so we need... Sorry, falling into the hoppers, so we need to keep that there. And keep that there, so we can breed them if there are baby cows, or disable that if we need to. In the event of an emergency, which is entirely possible. There, and we need to throw the button on there, which should... Perfect. But we need to do some fancy lever stuff to make them be bud ticks, or whatever you do. Whatever you say. So these need to be enabled. So we won't get the cows in here just yet, but once the water's placed, they'll jump up and you'll be able to click wheat on them. When there's a... You can do that as well. When there's a 24, I think that's the entity cramming limit. Right, so this lava will come out, but when the observer detects a block in there, something isn't locking the observer properly. I'll fix that in a bit, because at the moment, this has taken so... Oh. Okay, there we go. That was just a weird glitch or something. I don't know. Right. I'll get the cows in there in a bit because I've spent way too long on this, and I'll probably move it forward one. But what we can do is we can have a look from the top and see what it looks like. You know, all things considered, that's not that bad, is it? You can see it, you can adjust it. You know what? That's fine. I can't be bothered to move it. But what I will do, first things first, is make some more of these and build this platform out slightly. I'll work on that, and I'll be back in a bit. I just thought I'd show you what it's like to feed 300 cows and lag the server out, because it is good fun. It's good fun when you're on some kind of second generation Intel Xeon from 2015. I don't know, that's probably what it is. Come on, everybody. Come on, another 32 cows wouldn't hurt anyone. Let's go. Oh my god, you cannot do anything. They're trampling you. Unironically. Oh, look at them! Ah, let me be free! Let me be free! There we go. That's another 32. This is fine. This is fine, by the way. Anyway, I'll grab these couple of these cows and throw them in there. I've also added some more cows. Well, I've added the cows. And I've left these trapdoors shut so they're still, so I can still breed them, up to 20 of them. And that's still a work in progress. So I've worked on this a bit, and I'm a little happier about what this actually is right now. I've added this kind of market thing where you'd walk in and you'd serve people here that are passing by. It won't really serve much of a purpose, but we might be able to put a villager in it at some point that could trade. Probably a butcher that would trade us steak if we really needed it. In addition to that, I've remodeled this a bit, so you can wander in here and still see down here. And there's a beam there to support this wall, because the actual area where people are going to be living will be this side, which means I'll probably rip up this floor, but I need silk touch to do that because it's really painful getting rid of glass. And And then obviously it'd go up here, and you'd have kind of a smaller second floor, not too big. It'd probably come up maybe 3-block roof, and then curve back down. It's not going to be a tall one like the trading hall. Right, so I've got this working now, and if you're wondering why I've got no stuff, it's because me and a friend went to the Nether, and guess what happened? Spoil it, but it was a mess, and you won't want to miss it. It was insane. But now this is working, and I'll just quickly guide you through how it works exactly. So you press that, and you breed them all. I think I can open that. Yep, okay, right, that's good enough. Right, lock these back up, I think. Yeah, so there we go. All the babies fall out there, and when they grow up, cows do that, and in comes steak. Now this will be useful because I won't have to farm wheat anymore. This is much quicker, much quicker. It's great. And I think I also get XP for breeding them, so I'll be able to get some new tools and enchant. I will also need to go caving because we ran out of iron again. What a surprise. But yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We've worked on this. We dragged the cows up. And we've also worked round the back on a couple of those houses on the cliff edge, more like. So yeah, next episode we'll head to the Nether for a long adventure that ends quite a horrible way. So remember to like, comment and subscribe. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.